Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahigana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahigana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, so I'll just read verse 2 quickly. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashati. So last week we started this verse, so we gave the context of the verse and we covered the first item of the verse. I'll just quickly repeat. So this verse is very close to verse 1. So verse 1, some targets given by Rupa Goswami that we have to control 6 urges. Now Rupa Goswami is saying in verse 2, what you should not do if you want to control those 6 urges. So these are the 6 items which we should not do. Now before Prabhupada starts this verse, he starts with the very first line in his purport that human life is meant for simple living and high thinking. What does simple living do? Anyone can say? So we talked about 3 types of potencies of Krishna: Antaranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Bahiranga Shakti. So we belong to Tatastha Shakti or marginal potency, and we will be either living in internal potency, Antaranga Shakti, or Bahiranga Shakti. Now, what does simple living do? No one remembers? So it keeps us out of the Bahiranga Shakti. So currently we are situated, most of the time at least you can say, in Bahiranga Shakti, external potency of Krishna. Everyone has to do some work, but we are working under Bahiranga Shakti at the moment. But if we live simply, what happens? It makes us less entangled in the Bahiranga Shakti. And high thinking, what does it do? It gives us proximity, closity to Krishna, to internal potency of Krishna. Because if we are just living so-called high living, then all our time gets wasted in just the living part of it, which is Bahiranga Shakti. So we want to go to internal potency. So we live in such a way where we have to do least work, least amount of, you can say, engagement in the material world, and gives us a lot of time for Krishna consciousness. So we read this line of Prabhupada: human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. Since all the conditioned living entities are under the control of Lord's third energy, which is Bahiranga Shakti, this material world is designed so that one is obliged to work. But how do we work in such a way so that this principle is achieved of simple living and high thinking? This is the whole verse is talking about. So if we do not do those 6 things, this purpose will be achieved. What's the purpose? Simple living and high thinking. Prabhupada also quotes one verse from Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers which verse? No one remembers which verse we spoke. So there are 2 verses. Yes, Prabhuji. Now, Prabhu.
9:13.
9:13.
7:13 and 9:13.
And 7:13.
So actually that was 7:14. I accidentally said 7:13. 7:14 and 9:13. So 7:14 talks about which energy of Krishna? Someone else can say.
External potency.
External potency. And 913, Prabhuji?
Internal potency.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And 913 is here. Mahatmana Sumam Partha Devi Prakriti Mashata Bhajanti Ananya Manso Gyatva Bhutadim Abhyam. So what is the characteristics of Mahatma? We have done this verse in Bhagavad Gita, but quickly. Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. He's doing bhajan with Ananya Man, with exclusive mind given to Krishna. And if he doesn't do that, what does this person become? So if a person does bhajanti Ananya Manaso, he becomes Mahatma. But if he does not do that, what does he become? A Duratma. So Mahatma versus Duratma. So we want to become Mahatma, not Duratma. Duratma means a cripple-minded person. Kanjus. Huh? Kanjus is not just a person. A miser is not a person who doesn't give money to others. No, a miser is a person who's always thinking about, self-consciousness. How can I get something out of it? How can I get something out of it? That's called Duratma or Krapan or miser person. So Prabhupada is saying from Krapana mentality, from miserly mentality, you should go to the Mahatma mentality. And how do you become Mahatma? By getting in touch with the Antaranga Shakti of Krishna. And trying to get away from Bahiranga Shakti as much as possible. So this whole purport is based on this one principle, simple living and high thinking. And how do you achieve that? By not doing those 6 things. So we started last week with Atyahar. Anyone remembers the definition of Atyahar? Ati Ahar. Ati mane? So in Rajdhani Express, when you go Shatabdi, they have Alpahar. Huh? Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mat. Alpahar. Alpahar means some sort of snaky item they will have. They're not a full meal like dal, chawal, sabji, roti and all that. So here you're talking about opposite to Alpahar, Atyahar. Atyahar means too much food. Now Ahar means food. Now here, which food we are talking?
Food
Sense
to
gratification.
senses.
Food for the senses. Thank you. So many times we speak ahar means for the tongue, which is true, but ahar is also for other senses. What are the ahar for eyes? What's the ahar for my eyes? Good ahar, I should say. What I like to see, isn't it? Some pictures, some celebrities, from role models, whatever I like to see. As a devotee, like to see Lord Ram, Krishna, Srimati Radharani. A non-devotee may prefer to see some other actresses and actors and all those things. What's the ahar for our ear? Anyone? No one.
Some pleasing sounds.
Pleasing sounds. Thank you. What is a pleasing sound for a normal person? Some mundane music, some filmy song, Bollywood, Hollywood songs, this, that song. What's the pleasing sound for a devotee?
Kirtan and
Kirtan.
chanting.
Okay, Prema Bhakti Mataji always hearing Kirtan day and night, day and night. She's hearing different tunes. That's very pleasing to the ears of a devotee. Huh? They always want to hear some Krishna Katha, some Kirtan. And that can be ahar for all the other senses as well. So Atyahar refers to not ahar just for the tongue, ahar for all the senses, including our mind and ego. So last time we looked at this picture. This Prabhuji is having some alpahar or atyahar, whatever you want to say. So that's one type of ahar. That's fine. But another ahar can be, anyone remembers? So ahar for other senses. So I think I was discussing last week that everyone feels some emptiness in their heart. And sometimes they try to fill that emptiness in the heart by taking too much food, for example. And sometimes they're trying to fulfill this emptiness of the heart by accumulating a lot of money. If I have a lot of money in my bank account, I feel satisfied. Yes, I have done. My life is worth. Sometimes people accumulate a lot of degrees. Some person have done 2 PhDs, 3 PhDs. They're still going. They're still going. Some people try to fill this gap by some outside accumulation. I want to have a bigger house. I want to have, some Italian furnitures. Any local made furniture I don't want. I want only Italian made furniture. Sangmarmar ka floor chahiye, marble floor and all that. That's fine. Some people try to fill their ego by reading a lot of books, a lot of knowledge in their head. This is just a data dump. And I feel good when I talk to others so that I know more data than you. All these sorts of things are there. And some people trying to fulfill their ego by controlling others, actually. If I can control others, I feel satisfied. A jamidar, is exploiting the poor laborers, for example. Then he feels good. He feels, I'm worthy of it. Duryodhan felt his worthiness in what? Anyone remembers from Mahabharata? Duryodhan had all the money, all the positions. Even when he exiled Pandavas to the forest, he was still not satisfied. He still went to Kamyavan and trying to show off Pandavas how greatly he is living. And what happened there? He had a counteract with Gandharvas. And Gandharvas very easily defeated him. Now imagine Duryodhan had everything, so-called everything. Pandavas didn't have anything, but still he was not satisfied. He wanted to see Pandavas burning in jealousy, which they never, because he himself is burning in jealousy, so they wanted that. So if we have similar sort of attitude, that's also called atyahar. So we spoke about this accumulating a lot of money. Sometimes we feel fulfilled. And if I have a normal job, I'm not fulfilled. Devotee is not bothered about this big job or small job. And again, having a lot of money is a problem. Is it a problem for Krishna consciousness? No, actually. Not having to the ability to handle the extra money, that's a problem. Having a lot of money is not a problem. Dhur Maharaj had a lot of money. Prahlad Maharaj had a lot of money. Yudhishthira Maharaj had a lot of money. Arjun's one name is called Dhananjaya. And one meaning of Dhananjaya is one who's getting a lot of wealth. For Yudhishthira Maharaj, he got so much wealth, physical wealth I'm talking here, right? So having a lot of money is not an issue. Having a lot of possessions is not an issue. Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, Dabir Ghas and Sagar Malik, when they renounced, how much money they had? Anyone remembers? A boat full of gold coin. A boat full of gold coin. Nowadays, you wouldn't even have one silver coin in your house. In what do you call before Deepavali, what Dhanteras comes and you buy this silver plated coin and you feel satisfied. At least in North India, it's famous. I'm not sure about in South India. Everyone has to buy something. They buy Lakshmi Ganesh ka silver coin, but the silver coin is so expensive these days. So they buy silver plated one. So we don't even have one gold coin. Rupa and Sanatan had a boat full of gold coin. When they renounced, they gave away everything. Now you can say, oh, Rupa Goswami is writing the book. He himself is doing Atyahar. Is it Atyahar for Rupa Goswami, for example? Anyone? Any ideas? No. That time he was a Kshatriya. And with this money, he was propagating Krishna consciousness. He had built a Gupta Vrindavan in Ramkeli. He was inviting Brahmanas. He was protecting Brahmana and the Brahmanical culture. Not only protecting, he was propagating that culture. And for that, you need money. From Arjun, you cannot expect to wear, some torn clothes like a beggar. You can't. Arjun is a royal person. He's a king. He has to wear those clothes. He has to ride in certain chariots. So Atyahar also depends on time, place, and circumstances, person to person. What is Atyahar for me may not be Atyahar for you. So it's not the money is the problem, the position is the problem. The problem is, are we able to handle it or no? If we cannot handle, that becomes Atyahar. Even $1 can become Atyahar for me, because I can't handle it. Prabhupada said, I know how to use the money, bring all the money of the whole world. Prabhupada is saying it openly, bring me all the money of the whole world. Because I know how to handle, how to engage that Lakshmi in the service of Narayan. Now, we can't do that. And many times we sort of look at God, kya Bhagwan kuch bhi nahi diya hai. Krishna, you're not giving me anything. So why Krishna is not giving one reason is we can't handle it. We are not very popular, although we may want to become very popular. We are not. Why? So our Father knows what we can't handle, what the kids cannot handle. I'm remembering Abhyan, for example. Mama will not give something which Abhyan cannot handle, isn't it? She's happy to give, but Abhyan cannot handle. Janaki cannot handle. So grandparents are very protective. And Janaki may say, oh, grandmother, you are so bad. You're not letting me play with this toy called Agni, called fire in the kitchen. She loves fire, for example. But Mama will say, no, you cannot touch fire. So it's not the possessions are the problem. You can have a lot of money. You can have palaces under you. That's not a problem at all. And what palaces you will have? Yudhishthira was the king of the whole world. Prahlad was the king of the whole three worlds. So what's the problem with the money? So Lakshmi is not a problem if it is connected with Narayan. So we have to understand that. We cannot say, oh, this devotee having, $10 million in his bank account. Ambrish Prabhu, Alfred Ford, Prabhupada disciple, he has, I don't know, millions and millions of dollars. And I think Jai Gopi Mataji was saying he has taken loan to build Mayapur temple. He has given, I don't know, 400 crores or something like that. A big amount, we can't even think. So he has money, he is using the service of Narayan. Can we call it as atyahar? No. So atyahar should not be just a blanket definition. More money, more position, more power is atyahar. No. If a person can use it in the proper service, it's not atyahar. But if he cannot, it does become atyahar. Even too much knowledge also become atyahar. And Prabhupada said to his disciples not to read any other books. Why? Because he was protective. At the same time, he doesn't want devotees to become proud of their knowledge. One disciple of Prabhupada reading Hari Bhakti Vilas, and Prabhupada said, don't read, because by reading Hari Bhakti Vilas, you will go to hell. Why? It's written by Sanatana Goswami. If you read Hari Bhakti Vilas, you'll be following so many rules and regulations, you will not practically come out of the bathroom. So first, you will not be able to do your seva. Plus, you will judge others. You will judge others, and then you will make offenses. So it's not the books are not bona fide. We are not yet purified to be able to grasp that knowledge in a particular level. And Prabhupada said, I have given you everything what you need to go back to Godhead. So that's good enough. So we should read. And also gave example of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, who said, if we read any other commentaries, Acharya's commentary for 1 hour, we should read Prabhupada books. How many hours? 4 hours. 1:4, 1:4. So we should always remember that. We have to just stick to the recommended books. Okay. So then Prabhupada also writes in his purport that people use the religion for monetary purpose, and religion should not be used for monetary purpose. Religion should be used for what? For liberation. Apavarga. Dharma sahi apavarga say 1 to 9. So dharma should be used for getting apavarga. Apavarga means, anyone knows? Read in Srimad Bhagavatam. Pavarga is called this material world. Apavarga is beyond this material world. And apavarga also has multiple definitions, but you can understand the ultimate liberation is the goal of religion, not pavarga. Pavarga means all this janmriti jaravyadi. Religion should not be used for that purpose. So Prabhupada said, if you're using religion for that purpose, it's atyahar. Prabhupada gave the example of a rice bag and the bird. Bird will only take a little bit, a human will take everything. This is called atyahar. Now, you can say a human is saving for emergencies tomorrow. So the example is not given for that purpose, is given for a greed purpose. So humans usually are very greedy, very selfish, which other species are not. And that's why Prabhupada said they don't have any economic issues in their level, but we have it. And then Prabhupada writes about philosophy, which is from Anuvritti commentary. Anuvritti commentary is Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj commentary on NOI. And he said, acquiring a lot of knowledge on the part of mental speculators or dry philosopher also falls with the category of atyahar, collecting more than needed. And the last one is welfare work. And Prabhupada gave the example of $100 note lying on the road. What happens with this analogy? Anyone can say? No one remembers. So if a $100 bill is lying on the road, a karmi will come and steal it for himself. And he wants to use that $100 for himself. That's not very nice. It's stealing. A jnani, you can say, can come and sort of leave it on the road and say, no, no, I don't care. It's still not the proper use of the money. I take the $100 note and give it to the owner who has lost $100. That's a proper use. So Prabhupada said, the resources of Krishna should be used for Krishna's seva. Even if you leave it, that's not a proper use. Krishna has given you those skills and money or power, whatever he has given you. You should use it in the service of Lord. Then it's proper use. Okay. Now, any questions or comments so far on this topic? And then we'll start the number 2 part. Okay. Okay. Next part comes for prayas. Now, prayas, as I said last week, is a very common word in Hindi, prayas karna, to endeavor, and which is considered very nice. But here, prayas is used in a negative connotation. What's the relation between atyahar and prayas? If you have a mentality of atyahar, suppose I want to accumulate a lot of money, what it will lead to? Prayas. Prayas here refers to over endeavor, because I want to earn, say, $1 million in 3 months' time, for example. What I have to do, I have to overwork. I have to overwork, and sometime maybe I have to work with dishonesty, disintegrity. Maybe I'll steal someone else's money. I will do some scandal or something. So atyahara and prayas are very much interrelated. If you have atyahar mentality, it will lead to prayas or over endeavor. So what does prayas mean for us specifically? For us, prayas means maintaining a good balance between your spiritual life and material life. Everyone does some prayas. Everyone has to go to work, for example. Even household people, they have to go to work, earn some money, pay their rent or mortgage or whatever it is, pay some bills. But they are not over-endeavoring. Over-endeavoring, Prabhupada gave a simple definition. You only work 6 to 8 hours a day. And whatever you get, be satisfied with it. It says Brahmana is always satisfied with the bare necessities of life. Santushto yen kenachit. Santushta means he's satisfied. Yen ken. Whatever comes on his own accord. He does his work with honesty. Whatever comes. I expected $500 today. I only got $100. Should I be satisfied or no? I would say whatever, 4 hours, 5 hours a day. I only got that much money. What should I do? Okay, that's fine. Today, Krishna want me to live within that limit. I'm happy with that. I go, no, I will get another job and third job and fourth job. That will not work. Now, there may be situations in someone's life where they need some extra money for some specific purpose. That's fine. But it should not be a regular basis. For long term, you are doing over endeavor. Every day you're working 14 hours a day and you have no time for your spiritual life. That is called over endeavor. Now, again, what is over endeavor for you may be different than what is over endeavor for me. Over endeavor can also refer not only earning money, attending to your health. You're neglecting your health so much so that you cannot practice Krishna consciousness. So there can be multiple definitions. As multiple definitions belongs to atyahar, it can belong to prayas as well. Let's see what Prabhupada is writing. Collecting and eating more than necessary also causes prayas or unnecessary endeavor. You can see this person trying to take this heavy stone up the hill because he wants to feel some achievement. I've done something. Kuch karke dikhana hai. So he's taking this hill up. This person is very busy in his books, in computer, and laptop. This person has, I don't know, 5 laptops and 3 phones. This is called over endeavor, over endeavor, over endeavor. That's not needed for a person whose goal of life is to realize Krishna. As I said, dharma sehi apavargasya, nartho arthaya upakalpate. It should not be used for artha. So whatever over endeavor we are doing to increase our material necessities, that's not needed. Prahlad Maharaj actually said in one famous verse, he said, as dukkha comes without invitation, sukha will also come. So it's a very famous. No, we don't have full faith on these verses as yet. So we do endeavor, but we should not over endeavor. But Prahlad Maharaj says very clearly, if sukha is written in your destiny, it will come. What is not written in your destiny? Your bhakti. Bhakti prayas is not written. How many mala you will do today? That's not written. What you will eat tonight? 1 chapati or 2 chapati or no chapati. You may have, 50 chapatis in your kitchen. But if it is not written in your destiny, you will not be able to take. There may be some arguments in the house. There may be some health issues in the house. Whatever. If it is not written, it will not come. So again, we have to do some endeavor. Radheshyam Prabhuji said, a bird has to find some food. How far the bird can go? Maybe within a range of a kilometer or something. So you have to go for work. You have to search for a job. You have to maintain your financial arrangements. That's fine. Don't overdo it. One example of Prabhupada comes to my mind. When Prabhupada went to America, how much money he had? Everyone knows that. $1 or 40 rupees, you can say, something like that. 40 rupees or say $1. And it said in his whole stay of America, he never used that $1 or 40 rupees. When he came back to India after 2.5 years, he used that money to give to Autowala. And he said, this Autowala is charging too much. So he went to America, he never practically spent his any rupee. Now, was Prabhupada not worried about paying his rent? No, he was worried. He was worried, how I'm going to get my grocery, but he was not over worried. That was not the only worry he had. Now, we many times, if not all the time, that's the only worry we have. Job chala gaya. What will happen, how I'm going to pay my mortgage. So there can be this worry. I'm not saying it will not be there in your mind. It should not over worry you because you always have Jagannath Ji. You always have Srimati Radharani. So because we have to understand, Devkinandan Prabhu said, our source of income is not our source of maintenance. We have to earn. That's okay. We have to earn by honest means, and whatever comes by our honest working, in that limited hours, we should continue. Some project may need a deadline for a month or so, you have to overwork. That's fine, we understand that. Sometimes you have to give more time to your family. A new baby has come in the family, people has to give overtime to the family. But then we compensate it by going to Janmashtami, by going to Yatra, and we give more time to Krishna. So it's not one balanced definition is universal for everyone. It doesn't work that way. But the point is, we should not over endeavor for long amount of time. So we are compromising our Krishna consciousness. Okay. So let's see. Prabhupada writes beautiful line. I love it. Anyone in any part of the world can live very peacefully if he has some land and a milking cow. So true. You have a cow, little land, and you can produce your own grains. You don't need electricity. I'm remembering Bhakti Rasamrat Maharaj. He has created a village. I can't remember the name at the moment. If some devotee remembers, some eco village. Anyway.
Gokul Dham, Prabhu.
Gokul Dham, Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Gokul Dham. And I've not been there, but I've heard from devotees, so fantastic. They don't even have electricity there. And there's so many families living there. They sleep early, they get up early, and everything they make in their own village. They don't go to Bombay or Mumbai to buy something extra. They grow everything in their own village. They're living very simple life and dedicating maximum time for Krishna consciousness. Maharaj has inspired many devotees to build those sort of villages in other parts of India as well. Because self-sustenance, as Daki Prabhupada said, in one time third world war will happen, everything will be destroyed. Then you have to sustain on your own things, not from outside. Nowadays we are so much dependent on outside. If the fridge goes for one day, we can't imagine how to survive. If mobile goes for 1 hour, 1 hour I'm talking too much actually, for 5 minutes, people go crazy. Internet goes down. Children start like, "Arey, internet nahi hai." Like, we never saw internet when we were young kids, but now it has become a need, a necessity. So we are over dependent on electricity, on these external material things, which practically we don't need, but we feel like we can't live without it. But there are examples right now in the world, in our community, where people are living like that. So it's possible. There's no need for a man to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood, for one can produce food grains locally and get milk from cows. That can solve all economic problems. I remember one example Radhesham Prabhuji gave in one class. He said there was one devotee who was living very far from temple. Anyway, he got a good job, and he could buy an apartment very close to the temple, to the Pune temple recently. And it was like a 3-bedroom apartment. He invited Radhesham Prabhu for the inauguration and all that. So he did a program. And after that, he wasn't coming to temple. And Radhesham Prabhu once called him and said, "Prabhuji, I'm not seeing you these days. You live so close now." And he said, "Prabhuji, what to do? I bought this 3-bedroom house. The mortgage is so high. I have to go to America to get a job so that I can pay the mortgage." Radhesham Prabhu says, "Better you were living far and at least coming to temple. Now you're going to America, you've just gone. Just gone." So very difficult. Sometimes we take this over commitments. Fortunately, man has been given higher intelligence for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says, so what do you do with your higher intelligence? If you're talking about, simple living and high thinking, you still have high intelligence. Prabhupada saying, use your high intelligence and skills in the service of the Lord, in propagating Krishna consciousness, rather than earning a lot of money and fame and position and fulfilling your ego. You can use those things given by Krishna for the service of Krishna. One's relationship with him and the ultimate goal of life, which is SAP, Sambandha, Avideya, and Prayojan. We can put all our energy, maximum energy in this process. Unfortunately, what is happening these days? We spend most of the time in working for outside people, and we have so little energy for Krishna. Jab ghar aate hain, we are so tired. Oh, we still got 8 rounds to do. Bhakti Shastri exam aane wala hai. I haven't studied this yet. I have to do assignment. Oh my God, so much. But actually, if you imagine where that so much is gone, in serving outside world. So as much as possible, not in every situation, as I said, it will not be possible straight away. You can make a plan. Bhakti Rasayan Maharaj always said, you must make a plan A, plan B, plan C. How are you going to develop Krishna consciousness? Within 1 year, I have to finish Srimad Bhagavatam. Within 2 years, I have to finish reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Within 3 years, I have to start my this course, that course. He said, keep making plans. You may fail, but still keep making plans for Krishna consciousness. I'm going to serve my community. Prabhupada said, if you come in front of deity, you should feel, this is Prabhupada's statement, very high, what are you doing for me? So you should feel in your heart, deities, Radha Gopinath is asking you, what are you doing for me? Now Mayavadi say, what deities, huh? We don't need to feed the deities. We don't need to dress the deities. We don't need to do anything. But the devotee feels like, what I'm doing for the deities. But usually what we feel, what deities are doing for me. Gopinath, so many problems are coming in my life. You're not seeing them? But Gopinath actually is asking another question to you. What are you doing? And it says, when we try to satisfy Gopinath's senses, our senses are automatically satisfied. We're not so much bothered. We attend to the problems what we can. We are not Ishvara. We are only human beings. But after that, we say, okay, Gopinath, whatever you desire. Huh? I look at Amol Leela Prabhu, such a wonderful example. So many times he has put into difficulties by these outside people. He's maintained his enthusiasm to serve Krishna so nicely. He's come back with more power, actually. He's been put in a lot of difficulties. But look at this person. He said, okay, after this is Gopinath, whatever. So we should have that faith. Gopinath is there. Jagannath Ji is there. I can only do what I can do. Rest of the time, okay, chodo. My Guru Maharaj said, can't do it, but at least good for my meditation. He said, when you're chanting, switch off your mind. I'm like, how do you do that? He just said very easily, when you're chanting, just switch off. So many problems are there, it's fine, but switch off your mind and chant Hare Krishna. Like, can't switch off even for like 2 seconds. What to speak for the 16? And he said, for now, you chant. How do you chant? Switch off your mind. Very easily, like he has a plug. Now, he has a plug. He has a plug. Now, he also has so many things in his head, but you just switch off. Now, this is a practice of whole life of bhajan. When you can practically switch off your mind from the mundane desires while you're serving Krishna. Many of us, we can't do it, but when you're sitting in a nice kirtan or katha, you may experience that, right? Your mind gets switched off. You go out of body. I went to Canberra Kirtan recently. At least for a few hours, I can say, I was out of that, mind. I was out of the mind because the kirtanias were so nice. Now, Shipalad Prabhu is coming. His Holiness Bibi Govind Maharaj is coming. I'm very excited, actually. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu is coming. Huh? Why? Because these devotees will help us to switch off our mind, at least for that while, that 1 hour or 1.5 hours, when you're listening katha, just forget everything because it's so nice, because they are so advanced. In their association, we also get a glimpse of that, a drop. So it's very nice. Then we come back. We don't need to over endeavor. It's fine. Whatever. You do what you can do. Okay, I'll not read the whole thing, but you get the gist of it. Huh? What is atyahar? And atyahar leads to prayasa. Prayasa here refers to over endeavor. So endeavor is not condemned. Over endeavor for a long period of time specifically is condemned. And Rupa Goswami is saying we should not do that, because ultimately you're just trying to satisfy your ego, which is not needed. Okay, third is prajalpa. Prajalpa. Jalpa means talking. Prajalpa means useless talking. Now, Bhishma Pitama is giving instructions to Yudhishthira Maharaj. After the Mahabharata war has happened, Bhishma Pitama is lying on the Varnashaya, or the bed of the arrows, and Yudhishthira Maharaj comes and asks certain questions. And that time, Bhishma Pitama has given a series of instructions. Actually, it says it's the biggest instruction in the history of any book where one person is speaking so much. He has spoken around 160 plus chapters of instruction, and he has given instructions on different matters. One of the instructions Bhishma Pitama gave to Yudhishthira Maharaj about speaking. So Bhishma Pitama is telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj, you should only speak about the Lord's activities, Lord's glories. Number one, he said, nothing else we should speak. Second, he said, if you can't do that, what you should speak? Pleasing speeches and truthful speeches. So the speech which is truthful and pleasing. Truthful means I'm speaking about the truth, not nonsense. I saw this, I did that, and he was saying that. It's all nonsense. Third, he said, is called useless talking. And the fourth, he said, is called blasphemous talking. So 4 types you can say. Sometimes it says 5 types. So third is activities or pastimes of the Lord. So you're glorifying Lord, you're talking about the Lord. Second, he said pleasing speeches. Third, you can say truthful speeches. Fourth, you can say prajalpa or useless. Two person are talking in a park or something, just useless. And Prabhupada calls this like croaking of a toad. When a toad croaks, what happens? The snake comes and catches him, because a snake knows toad is here or a frog is here, and he catches very easily. So when we're doing prajalpa, unnecessary talking, time is going very fast. And who's catching us? Who's the snake? Time, Kala. Kala is right on our head, and our time is very, very limited. It says, Yamasya Karuna Nasti. Yamaraj has no mercy. The every second is written in everyone's destiny. It says, when we take birth, our time of mrityu, our time of death is already there. And a person who can read, he can read here. Can read on the head. What's the time of my mrityu? What's the place of my mrityu? But I am completely complacent of my life. My life is so comfortable. I am so intelligent. I'm so popular. My family is so good. My wealth is so good. And everyone depending on me. I'm so important. And Kala comes in a split of second and takes me away. So if I'm not utilizing my time properly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami says, very famous verse, 2:317, Ayur harati vaipamsan udayan astan chayan aso tasyarte yatashunonita uttam shloka vartaya. Ayur harati, ayu ko har leta hai. Who takes your ayu away? Sun. Sun God takes your ayu away. How does he takes your ayu away or your age away? When he rises, when he sets down, what happens? One day of your life is gone, isn't it? One tick off. We say happy birthday to you. What's the happy about it? We have moved 1 year closer to our death, and we say happy birthday to you. There's nothing to be happy about actually. Dada Govind Maharaj said, this is the day you, as a soul I'm talking, were locked in the body. So this is the day you were put in prison, and you're celebrating your anniversary in the prison as happy birthday. This is the day I came into the jail. This is the day I came into the jail. Happy birthday. There's nothing to be happy about it, unless you're using this body, this vehicle in the service of the Lord, and that's very glorious. And that's how we celebrate our spiritual masters Vyasa Puja. On his appearance day, we do some celebration about glorifying that personality, and that's very glorious. So Ayur Hatiya Pumsan Udayan Astan Chayan Aso Tasyarte Yatashano. Every churn, every moment which we spend in glorifying Krishna, Tasyate Shurna, Uttam Shlok Vardaya. Uttam Shlok refers to Krishna. If you are doing Krishna Katha, Uttam Shlok Vardaya, then Ayu is not lost, because that is a real use of your body, which is given by Krishna. Beautiful shloka. So if we are wasting our time in useless talking, or number 5, blasphemous talking, we are really disrespecting Krishna. We are really disrespecting. Now, useless talking does not just refers to talking. Useless time, Prabhupada writes in the purport, also reading mundane newspaper, novel, magazines, blah, blah, blah. So you're reading too many mundane magazines. What do you call? I'm not sure, but I think it's a magazine called Celebrity Gossip, or something like that. I heard in a lecture. Celebrity Gossip. So whoever so-called modern celebrities are, this happening in their life. He left someone, he joined another person, he bought this house, and he's having holidays, or she's having holidays. All these mundane magazines, newses, watching this current affairs. Radhavan Maharaj said this news means we think it's new news. It's called news. But Maharaj said this, nothing is news. Everything's olds. Everything is olds. But olds happening to new people is called news. Olds means old principle happening to new people is called news. What's the news? We are passing our age just like that. So Bhishma Pitama tells you this, Maharaj, you should have these 5 speeches, and the last 2, which are the last 2? Useless talking and blasphemous talking refers to Prajalpa. So Rupa Goswami is saying we should not do Prajalpa, because our habit is as soon as we meet with each other, Prajalpa. So kya ho raha hai, kaise ho raha hai, how many houses you have, and what's happening here, what's happening, what's Chacha, Mosi, Nana, Mami, this, that. We heard that story of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, one disciple. He was serving Maharaj from very, very young age. He had never visited his house. He was relatively young when a doctor told him that he has only few days to live. So he expressed his desire to his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, that can I visit my family? I'm going to leave my body soon. I have not visited my mother, father for 40 years or something. So Maharaj said, no, you cannot visit. And this brahmachari was, his heart was broken. Huh? My Guru Maharaj is being a little bit, hard-hearted here by not letting me go to visit my family, which I haven't seen for 40 years. And Maharaj said, no, you cannot go. No, Maharaj is Maharaj, huh? But this person could not understand the mind or the heart of Maharaj. And when he had only few days to survive, it was literally a week or so, when Maharaj told another disciple, can you take this person, this Krishna Das Prabhu, to his village? And now this person said, Maharaj, I don't want to go. I'm going to leave my body in a week. I want to leave my body in Dham. Now you're sending me to my village. He said, no, you must go. And this person wasn't ready, and his person could not understand the heart of his Guru Maharaj. So another disciple, B, took Krishnadas Prabhu in the train. He put him in the train, he bought the ticket, and he said, now you go to your village. And this person was completely baffled. And he died on the train. He died on the train. He did not leave his body in Dham, he did not leave his body in the village. Now, what explanation you can give for this sort of action of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj? Everyone got the example? Huh? So this person, disciple, very good disciple of Maharaj. So the person who had dropped this Krishna Das Prabhu in the train, he came back and asked Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, if you don't mind, can I ask one thing? When a few months ago he wanted to go to his to go and see his family, you said no. Now a week is left in him leaving the body, roughly, and you're sending him to a village. Why is that? So Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj explained very nicely. He said, if I would have sent him 3 months before, when he go and see his mother will say, oh, our beta, how are you? What has been happening? And mommy has done this, nani has done this, chachi has done this, or, her son is died, or this son is gone to America. All the family affairs will go into his head. So I didn't want him to see. So he said, no, I understand that. But why did you send him in the last day? And Maharaj said, when you will push him away from the dham, what he will be constantly thinking about? I have to be in the dham, I have to be in the dham, I have to be in the dham. Sometimes we are sitting in Sydney, our mind may be in Vrindavan, maybe. Sometimes we are sitting in Vrindavan and our mind is in Sydney. So, did I lock my house? Did I switch off my gas? Did I open my safe? I hope no thief comes to my place and steal my possessions. Huh? Many times you buy new shoes, especially in India, and when you go to the temple, 90% of your heart is in new shoes outside the temple, because you may not get it back if you don't go on time. It happens. It has happened with all of us. In Vrindavan, I'm sure everyone, anyway. So you lose your shoes in Vrindavan especially. Huh? I lost in one day 3 times in one day. And then I said, Krishna is saying not to wear the shoe. And then I was happy. Completely. I said, yeah, why didn't it click earlier? Just walk in Vrindavan just like that, barefoot. Huh? So Krishna is sending indication, but you have to take sometimes the hard route. Anyway, so where you are physically, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It says you live where your mind lives. You may be Radha Gopinath temple pujari, but your mind may be in something else. And you may be so-called karmi, working in a factory outside, working 8 to 10 hours a day, taking care of your family. But you can be a sannyasi. Sankarshan Maharaj said you can be a sannyasi while working outside. You can be a household lady, looking after your 2-3 kids, looking after household activity. You can still be a sannyasi. Sannyasi is not about a dress. Anyway, coming back to the topic, prajalpa is very, very unfavorable to the development of our devotional mindset. Let's see what Prabhupada is saying. Another impediment is prajalpa, unnecessary talking. When we mix with few friends, we immediately begin unnecessary talking, sounding just like croaking toads. If we must talk, we should talk about Krishna consciousness movement. Those outside of Krishna consciousness movement are interested in reading heaps of newspaper, magazines, novels, solving crossword puzzles, and doing many nonsensical things. Prabhupada very clearly writes this as a category of nonsensical things. In this fashion, people simply waste their valuable time and energy in Western countries. Old men retired from the active life play cards, fish, watch television, and debate about useless socio-political schemes. And you see in India as well, not only in Western countries. You see many elderly people are just talking about politics, about cricket. Sachin ko aise marna chahiye tha. Narendra Modi should have done like this. As if the Prime Minister doesn't have any buddhi. They are the one who's giving buddhi to Narendra Modi, huh? And they'll say, oh, why Sachin is playing like this? I don't know the names in cricket. Leg off shot or leg off shot, whatever it is, huh? They shoot. अरे ऐसा मारता तो कितना अच्छा था. You don't know Sachin's position. When you're standing in front of 20,000 crowd in the stadium, Pakistan is against you, and you cannot even stand. You will tremble just by standing there, and you're sitting in your sofa having popcorn in your hand and making commentary on Sachin Tendulkar or Narendra Modi, what he should done. You have no idea. You have no idea. You're making commentaries, sitting on your sofa, eating popcorns. So this is just unnecessary waste, unnecessary waste. And even if they're doing the wrong thing, they have not asked your advice, isn't it? As Bhakti Rasayan Maharaj said, the most freely available thing in the world is free advice. Everyone gives free advice, free advice, free advice. Even Krishna is not giving free advice. When Arjun surrendered to Krishna in 2.7, then Krishna gave advice. And we kahi bhi shuru ho jate hain. Anywhere we just start giving advices. Are Prabhuji, aisa kar lete hain? Oh, aisa ho gaya? So much advices, judgments we are giving. That can all be the part of Prajalpa. Can all be the part. It's not your service. It's not your service. Many times you see on the websites, many websites have been open just to find out the faults of some people who were earlier Krishna consciousness, which they are not now. Or sometimes they are even today Krishna conscious, but people are writing many things against those sannyasis, even very advanced devotees. So when we come to Krishna consciousness movement, what's our purpose of coming here? To be conscious of Krishna or to be the conscious of faults of others, which we are not even sure it is right or wrong news, isn't it? First, we don't know the news is right or wrong. We don't know that, right? Even if we consider news is right, what are we going to gain by reading the faults of this person? Chaitanya Prabhu gives this example, beautiful example. In Kali Yuga, finding fault is as easy as finding water in the ocean when you are in the middle of the ocean. Kalau doshe nidhe rajan. If you're in a swimming pool and you tell someone, hey, look, I found water, I found water, I found water. You're already in the swimming pool. What else you will see? You will see water. So you are in Kali Yuga. What else you will see? Faults. So it's not very intelligent to see faults of others, to talk about faults of others. By talking about faults or seeing the faults of others, what is happening? We are just putting ourselves in the Prajalpa category or fifth category, which is blasphemous speeches. With the Prajalpa, we lead to blasphemous because we feel a sense of greatness. I am great, this person is not. Look at him, look at her, how he is doing, how she is doing, and look at me. Implicitly, we are saying, I am greater, this person is not. But we are not the guru of this person. If he is making a mistake, that's between him and Krishna. Krishna will take care of it. Unless Krishna has given me a service as his guru, and the duty of a spiritual master is to correct the disciple. We are not. And we just take that authoritative position. So the point which I'm trying to make is all come under the category of Prajalpa. We are looking faults of other devotees and it's not our service. So we should not get involved in Prajalpa. And if we keep involving Prajalpa, we will end up in blaspheming devotees and will end up freezing our own devotional account because Krishna doesn't like it. So Rupa Goswami strongly recommends we should not get involved in Prajalpa. Two examples I have. Socrates triple test, although it's a mundane example, it's very nice. Many devotees talk about it, so I thought I'll just put it on the screen. So Socrates, it's just a little story. Someone came to Socrates and he was trying to sell, hey, have you heard this? Have you heard this? Have you heard this? He said, what? And he said, hang on a second, before you speak, let me do the triple filter test. What is the triple filter test? Is the news true or no? And he said, I'm not sure. You're not sure the news is right or wrong, right? You have heard from someone else. I'm remembering Viraj Prabhu. He gives a funny example of a barber had a donkey which died, and he was wearing some black clothes. He shaved his head, and he was crying. What was the name? Mahavasa Prabhu may remember. I don't remember. That Gadha had a very beautiful name.
Yeah, there's something buddhi type like
Anyway, this is a
something
donkey.
to do with buddhi.
His name was something beautiful. Anyway, so another person saw this barber having shaven his head and wearing black clothes, and he saw there must be some big person died. Some, I can't remember the name, but some Ram or something was there. He thought it must be a respectable person. Anyway, so he also shaved his head. He also wore black clothes. And by seeing at this person, third person, fourth person, half of the village shaved his head and wore clothes. And then the minister also came. He also did the same thing. And the king said, "What has happened?" He said, "You don't know what has happened?" Krishna
Sir,
Ram.
it's Shunya Vidyadhar. The donkey's
Shunya
name was
Vidyadhar.
Shunya Vidyadhar.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Shunya Vidyadhar has died. Acha, Shunya Vidyadhar has died. Who is Shunya Vidyadhar? King asked. He said, "I don't know." So he went and asked the other person, and he said, "Shunya Vidyadhar has died. You don't know? Who is Shunya? I don't know. I don't know." By the time they reached back to the barber, he said, "Shunya Vidyadhar was my donkey." So this is our situation. We hear some news and we react on it. We participate in the news. We don't even know how relevant that news is, how truthful that is, and how beneficial that news is. And we can get involved in so much. Nowadays, so much political news are coming. I don't hear much, but I hear here and there from someone. I'm like, why do you have to get involved? Who's making government? Why they're making government? Why is this? How many seats someone lost and this and that? Okay, you can read one headline. That's fine. Who has become? It will change eventually. It will change. No matter, he's good person or bad person, it will change eventually. Some headlines reading, and that's fine, but not much more involvement, hours and hours of wastage in that. What has happened behind the scenes? What are we going to do about it? So, is it true first? Even if it is true, is it good? Is it beneficial? It's not beneficial. Is it good? And then, is it useful to me? Is it useful to me? If none of these filters get past, he said, don't speak that news. Don't speak that news. Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj gave a beautiful example. I remember many years ago, he gave a class. I don't know what the topic was, but this thing I really remember. He said, sometimes you don't get involved in talking negatively about the others. And that's very good quality. Huh? You don't say person A was doing like that, person B was doing like that, and you should not. But you say, you know what? Some people come to your room and he said, Prabhuji, Krishna Prabhu was talking this about you. And you will say, what? What he was talking about me? So they will sort of encourage you to speak negatively by saying, this Krishna Das Prabhu was talking this about you. Now, you don't know whether Krishna Das Prabhu was really talking about you or not. You don't know what this person's intention is. Maharaj gave another example. He said, suppose two friends are very, very close friends, very, very close friends. A third person, while they're walking in a park or something, third person calls A, for example, and he said, A, please come here. So B stays there, A comes to him. And he said, so what can I do for you? And this person says, nahi, kuch nahi, nahi, nothing, you can go. Now, when A goes back, B will ask, so what did C say? And A will say, nothing, she said. He said, nahi, yaar. You are hiding something from me. कुछ तो छुपा रहे हो. And now A or B में फूट पड़ गई. Now A or B are not friends anymore because they lost their trust. So the Prajalpa can take us very, very away from Krishna, very, very away from Krishna. So even for mundane news, we should, is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? If it is yes, you can share as minimal as possible. Now, one example which Acharyas give for Prajalpa, Keshav Kashmiri and Nimai Pandit, as you can see in the picture in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Keshav Kashmiri was very proud of his knowledge. And he was showing off in the whole Bharat Varsha, and he has a Jaya Patra. He will go to people and he will make others sign of that patra. So when he was coming to Mayapur, everyone was scared and everyone sort of ran away. But Nimai Pandit, obviously, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he stayed. He was very young that time. And Keshav Kashmiri, I will not go to the full story. Keshav Kashmiri composed 100 verses in the glories of Mother Ganga on the spot. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he praised Keshav Kashmiri for that. Wow, wonderful. Who can do that? On the spot, just like lightning speed, he composed verses. Very, very praiseworthy task. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to put his pride down. So what did he say? Verse 64 has 4 points. And he's like, what? This boy has captured me. Huh? So if you have this tendency of showing others your knowledge, that also comes in the category of prajalpa. You know how many degrees I have? I have Bhakti Shastri, I have Bhakti Vatsha, I have Bhakti Vaibhav, I have Bhakti Vedanta. If you're showing off, I know 325 verses, you know. Now, I don't know any verses, but I'm saying if someone says like that, he is proud of this. Radhanath Maharaj was telling in the graduation ceremony of Bhakti Shastri, he said, he started with that. I heard that lecture many years ago. He said, the certificate, and he held a certificate in his hand, the certificate will not save you from Yamaraj. That's how it started. The certificate will not. Now, I'm not discouraging you all. You should get your certificate. But the point is not to gain a certificate. The point is to come closer to Krishna. So by these studies, we expect at least this should be Krishna Anukul Gyan. Krishna Anukul Gyan is very nice, which brings us closer to Krishna. And while we are doing that, we have to attempt the exam, pass the exam, learn some shlokas and all that. But the objective is very, very clear, is to come closer to Krishna. So it should not convert into a prajalpa as Keshav Kashmiri did. He did a lot of tapasya of Saraswati Ji, got a lot of knowledge. He had a boon that no one can defeat him. But what did he do with his knowledge? He misused it. Bhurishrava had a gada, had a club. He got this boon from Lord Shiva that whomever you throw this gada at, he will definitely die. And he wanted to use his gada on Arjun. And in the Mahabharata battle, he was trying to throw his gada, and Krishna obviously knew about it. And as he was putting his target on Arjun, Krishna will take his chariot on left, sometime on right, sometime he will go too much speed, sometime he will go less speed. And Bhurishrava was totally baffled on him. And he threw the gada not on Arjun, because he was angry at Krishna, on the Krishna himself. And Shiva had said, if you throw this gada on a person who's not fighting, this gada will come back and hit you. So what happened when Bhurishrava threw the gada on Krishna? Krishna is a chariot driver. He is not fighting. What happened? Gada went towards Krishna, came back and killed Bhurishrava himself. So this is what happens with our knowledge. So knowledge can be very useful in cultivating Krishna consciousness, but knowledge can become very dangerous, very, very dangerous, like Keshav Kashmiri. Obviously, later he became a very great devotee, but the point is we should be very careful. Okay. Next topic in this series is Niyamagraha. So if you can break this word Niyam and Agraha. So last week we discussed about Agraha, Bada A, Agraha. So Agraha, Prabhupada says, eagerness to accept. Agraha refers to failure to accept. So Agraha and Agraha. Agraha, I accept rules and regulations, which is favorable for developing my Krishna consciousness. Agraha, I reject. So I reject all the rules and regulations. Accepting some of the scriptural rules and regulations for immediate benefit as ulterior advocate is called Niyamagraha, and neglecting the rules and regulations of the Shastra, which are meant for spiritual development, is called Niyamagraha. Now, Niyamagraha can be used in a positive or in a negative sense. So if you take from negative sense, which Prabhupada is talking in the very first line here, not following any rules and regulations. Now, if you have atyahara, tendency of atyahara, mentality of atyahara, which leads to prayasa or over endeavor, eventually what will happen? He will say, chanting kiya, nahi kiya, who cares? Isn't it? If I chanted today, I did not chant today, who cares? I did deity worship, I did not do deity worship. Slowly what happens? You remember Bharat Maharaj, when he went to the jungle, he was at Bhava stage. But slowly what happens? In the attachment of deer, slowly he was coming down. Slowly he was coming down. He forgot the purpose. And later on, he even stopped the worship of Krishna. He was in full remembrance of that little deer. So not accepting any rules and regulations, which we see in the today's modern world, 99.99% people are not following any rules and regulations. Gauranga Prabhu was saying in one class, these days, even to be a vegetarian is considered a tapasya. Even to be a vegetarian is considered a tapasya. Like, what sort of age we are living? In India, sometime in India, people look at you, oh, you are vegetarian. And when you say don't take onion, garlic, they are like, you are an alien. You come from a different planet. You don't take onion, garlic. And if you go to Gaudiya Mutt, they don't even take tomato and gajar and carrot. They're like, what? No tomato, no gajar. They don't feel, you as a human being, as a common person. You live in Sydney, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you're vegetarian. It's like something else. So their mindset has gone so much absorbed in passion and ignorance. Even the goodness things, forget about the spiritual part of it. They cannot grasp very easily. They just in a selfishness mentality. They don't follow any rules and regulations. They get up at 10 o'clock and they have what do you call bed tea at the bed. They will take the tea and they will slowly go. Uh, One of the follower of Prabhupada, not a disciple, was speaking with Prabhupada, very nice person. So Prabhupada asked him, so what do you do? What's your daily routine? He said, Prabhupada, I get up at 10 o'clock. He was a very rich person. I get up at 10 o'clock, then I take bed tea, and then I go here and there, and I read newspaper. And Prabhupada straight away on his face says, that's the life of a pig. And he said later in his interview, he said, no one ever in my life have ever said something like this to me. Because he was a rich and respectable person. Because he was rich, he didn't have to work like 8 to 5 or something. You'll get up and understand. But he said that statement of Prabhupada jolted me from inside. And he got converted into a devotee. Just one statement. He said, that's the life of a pig. Now, he was not talking about non-veg. This is a lifestyle. Prabhupada said, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? This life is not meant for this. He said, I blame Christians. Prabhupada's statement, I blame Christians because, at one statement, at least he said, it's 6 o'clock, they're still sleeping. And I was thinking about myself. Huh? Christians, okay, forget Christians, but Prabhupada didn't like people sleeping at 6 a.m. Prabhupada said, why are they sleeping? This is 6 o'clock. They have to wake up. So imagine what would a Prabhupada expect from his followers. Now, not go to individual details here, but you can just translate in your own word. Prabhupada wanted all of us to get up very early and practice solid Krishna conscious lifestyle in the morning, and then you go to work and handle family problems and all those things. Anyway, Niyamagra, not following any rules and regulations. Second picture, who can identify this picture? It's a very easy one. Everyone loves this picture. One great festival is coming. Now Avatar Prabhu is saying something.
Nalakuvera.
Nalakuvera.
Thank you. What are they doing now, Avatar Prabhu? Or not doing?
Prabhu, they are enjoying the bath with other ladies, and they are fully naked,
Clothless,
and
naked, and drinking wine. And where they are doing this? In the heavenly
in
kingdom? In the Mandakini or Gangaji, you can
Mandakini,
say.
yes.
Mandakini, huh? So demigods are supposed to live in Modaput, and now humans does it. Okay, so not you should do it, but okay, but demigods doing it or associates of demigods is not expected out of their behavior, but they were doing it. Why? Because of Nimagra. Failure to accept rules and regulations which are conducive for their advancement. They rejected. What happened? They got cuts. So when we don't follow rules and regulations which are very favorable for our advancement, we end up going down. Prabhupada said you can even become animal. Prabhupada said at least do that much Krishna consciousness that you become a human in next life. Don't become animal in next life. Prabhupada said from his heart. Everyone knows this one? Not now, Avatar Prabhu, anyone else? We all teach this story to our kids. Kanika Mataji.
This is Brahmana and the cobbler story.
Thank you. I was remembering Vaishnava. I just said Kanika Mataji. Anyway, it's not only for kids, it's for us as well. So what's the story quickly? Mahasa Prabhu, if you could say just a few lines.
Okay, the Brahmana says, like when Narad Muni meets him, the Brahmana says that, can you just tell me when he's going to go back home, back to Godhead? Because he's a Brahmana and he is very proud. So that's what he feels. And then when I know the story, but I cannot explain.
Yes,
Sorry for
the
that.
cobbler.
Okay.
Yes,
So he goes to the cobbler, and then the cobbler asks the same question. So then Narad Muni goes back to Krishna and put these two questions of Brahmana and the cobbler. And then Krishna replies to Narada Muni saying that go and ask this question to them and then you come back to me. So the question was that that the like
It says they will ask what Lord Narayan was doing. So
what not, yes, and then what Lord Narayan was doing. So the Narad Muni replies, Krishna says to him that Lord Narayan is doing what he is he's putting the elephant through the eye of the needle.
Yes.
So then Brahmana replies, like, no, how can he do that? Or, you're talking nonsense. Whereas the cobbler replies that if he can create the biggest tree that I am sitting under and making my livelihood from a livelihood from the small seed that I can't even see, so then he can do anything. So then Narayana replies that the cobbler has the full faith, so he surely comes back to me. Whereas Brahmana, even though he is born in a Brahmana kula, but then he won't be because he doesn't develop the faith yet.
Thank you, Mata. So Brahman, although he was very knowledgeable, he was following all the 3 times bath and Gayatri, reading Sam Veda, Thar Veda, everything he was doing. But he was doing Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means following rules and regulations for the sake of following it, not for the advancement. Now, many times we follow Ekadashi. I think Ankit Prabhu sent a very nice video, Nichod. Many of you would have watched it. It came in BSS group. Very nice. I watched it. So this person was doing Ekadashi. Why he was doing Ekadashi? He wanted to get rid of his sinful activities. And he said, yes, ek jhatke mein sab cross kar diya. So this person said, he is a devotee, he's just playing a role there. So many people follow Ekadashi for the sake of getting rid of their sinful activities. But that's not the purpose of Ekadashi. Ekadashi should be done to come close to the Lord. That's the purpose of Ekadashi. And if that purpose is not happening, we have to revisit our following of Ekadashi. So the purpose has to be achieved. And this is just a process which we follow. We don't eat or we eat less. We get up early morning, we chant some extra round, we do some extra devotion service on that day to get to that purpose. Now here what is happening? Brahmana is following a process which is nice, but he defeated the purpose. Cobbler may not be following the process, but he got the purpose. And that is why Niyamagraha has to be revisited in all of our lives and all of the aspects of our life. Why are we doing what are we doing? Not just do like a machine thing. Anyone else can speak on this picture? Deva Mataji, you recognize this picture? Maybe a little small, which I agree.
Brahmana. Krishna Balaram Brahmana Patni.
Hari bol, Mohit Prabhuji हमेशा अच्छे जवाब देते हैं. Thank you, Mohit Prabhu. Krishna Balaram and Brahman Patni. Now, Mohit Prabhu, you have to tell what's happening very quickly. 2-3 lines.
Basically, Brahmanas are doing yajna there, and Krishna Balaram Sakha, they are hungry, they want some food. They went to Brahmana, they said, now we can't give you. And they went to Brahma Patni without knowing, they just offered them everything. So basically, the same story that Brahmanas following all rituals, but they don't know about the Lord. But Brahman Patnis are simple ladies working at home, but still they have love for Lord Krishna just by hearing that Krishna and Balaram come to for cow herd, so they offer food to them.
Yeah, thank you, Mohit Prabhuji. So it's a very nice example of Niyamagraha as well. So Brahman, very, very intelligent, scholarly people, but they're just doing Niyamagraha. Krishna is saying, what is the purpose of yajna to please Vishnu? Here, Vishnu is saying, come and give me. If you remember the instance of Bali Maharaj, Shukracharya tells Bali Maharaj, this is not a Brahman, this is Vishnu. And Bali Maharaj said, if he is Vishnu, then you should be telling me to give everything. This is what you are teaching me in the Gurukul. Now, when Vishnu has come himself, you are saying not to give to Vishnu. He is saying, if he is Vishnu and I don't give, he will fight and take it. Because who can defeat Vishnu? And he is saying, is Vishnu, I should give him. And he said, I will definitely give. Definitely give. That is what is understanding of the rules and regulations, not just following as these Brahmanas are doing, or in the third picture that Brahmana is doing. What's happening in this picture? Bhishma Pitama is sometimes criticized. When Draupadi came for help, Bhishma Pitama was following Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means, I don't know what to do. He had the potency to stop this whole Vastraharan of Draupadi ji, but he did not stop. Why? He was bound with so-called rules and regulations. Now, rules and regulations has a purpose. You remember the story when a cow is running and a sadhu is sitting and the butcher comes from behind. He says, "Oh, where the cow is gone?" Because this sage has taken a vow that I'll always speak the truth. So he doesn't say from the mouth, but he puts his hand. And what happens? This butcher goes there, he kills the cows, and he comes back. And this sage was not very happy afterwards. What happened in the next birth? This cow became the lady, butcher became the husband of the lady, and the sadhu again became a sadhu, and his hands were cut. I don't want to go to the full story. And he asked, "I've never committed any aparad." And he said, "Yes, you have committed aparad in the previous birth by pointing your finger." So the vow of truthfulness should be taken on a consequence-based basis, not on just the ethics. Ethics is, I will be truthful no matter what. If terrorists come and I will give them shelter. We're discussing the pastimes of Bhrigu Muni and Khyati. Khyati gave shelter to a demon. And when demon got shelter that night, we see she was trying to protect demon, and Lord Vishnu had to kill Khyati as well as the demon. Khyati should have said, first, you are a terrorist. I'm not going to shelter you. Even if I have sort of given my words to give you protection, Lord Vishnu is here. Now, how he can be wrong? She should have just stepped aside. But she didn't. She got killed. So, and then Lord Vishnu was on fault by Bhrigu Muni, and Lord Vishnu got cursed by Bhrigu Muni. We heard that story last Friday. So we have to understand that this Niyama Graha has a purpose. Bishop Pitama was very, very scholarly person, very intelligent. He's a Mahajan, but that time he was not well versed in the scripture. The first purpose was to protect a lady who's being disrobed in the assembly of 5 lakh people. And she's coming and asking for protection. Bishop Pitama didn't do that. This is also called Niyamagraha. Now, one positive example we can take, same example of Bishop Pitama, but in a different angle, we can say. Now, Bishop Pitama is lying on the bed of arrows. It says, many, many sages came when he was speaking because they knew he's going to do Krishna Katha. And there was Vyasadev, Parashuram, and a lot of sages came, Bharadwaj Muni, Yagyavalkya, all those rishis came. How did Bishop Pitama welcome them? By blinking his eye. Now, a Kshatriya's duty is to, when a sage comes, prostrate Dandavat, he offers his own Singhasan, his own throne. He said, Vishwamitra Muni, please come and sit. Dasharatha Maharaj did that, right? What can I do for you? With folded hands. Now, Bhishma Pitama can't do all that. He's lying on the bed of arrows. He can't even move. What to speak of offering even hand pranam. So he's doing pranam with his eyes, by his mind, and sages are accepting it. So this is called a positive example of Nimagraha. The principle is maintained. Details can vary. And that's why you say sometimes, we get too much bothered about the details. Details are details. Burijan Prabhu was saying, in which Shastra is written, he was talking about a temple in China because his wife is from China and he goes there. So he's saying, in which Shastra is written, Gaur Nitai eating noodles with chopsticks. But in the altar in Chinese temple, they offer noodles with chopsticks to Gaur Nitai. He's saying, which Shastra is written? That Krishna is having pizza and ice cream and all those things. No Shastra says like that. But that's the local dish. Devotees make it with love, offer it to the Lord, and Lord is accepting it. Gaur Nitai is eating with chopsticks in China, noodles made by devotees. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Prabhupada went to Hyderabad, and Prabhupada's disciple was organizing a Pandal program in Hyderabad. Tens and thousands of people were coming. And Prabhupada didn't like the khichdi. It had a lot of chili in that. So Prabhupada said, why so much chili? And the disciple said, because local people like too much chili. Now, with all due respect to people who are from Hyderabad, many times Hyderabadi people like too much chili. There are 2 devotees, at least in my knowledge. They are Shuddha Sattvic. But I've lived with Hyderabadis flatmates. They like too much chili. So Prabhupada said, that's okay. Prabhupada said, that's okay to put too much chili. So Prabhupada in general did not like it. But when the reason was presented that it will attract the local crowd, that's how they like. That's why the cook has put too much chili, because in biryani there has to be some tikha. So Prabhupada said that's okay. So I'm just trying to visualize different things. Sometimes the principle can be presented in a different way at one place, in a different way at another place, because that's how It's important for preaching because you want to invite people. If you put blend khichdi in front of them, they will not like it. So niyamagraha, very, very important for all of us to understand what is principle and what is detail. Radhanath Maharaj gave this beautiful example of a person asking him this question, Maharaj, can I underline Srimad Bhagavatam? Can I underline Srimad Bhagavatam? Some devotee viewers, Bhagavatam is Krishna. Every word is transcendental. How can you underline Bhagavatam? Huh? You can't put lines on Krishna. That's one group of devotees. Another group of devotees say, yes, Bhagavatam is Krishna's deity, and by underlining, I'm decorating Krishna. So Radhanath Maharaj said very nicely, keep the principle as principle and detail as detail. Huh? Don't mix it. Don't make a principle as a rule. I don't underline, you must not underline. Oh, you underline in Bhagavatam, you're making offense. No, rules are rules and details are details. What Chinese devotees will offer and what a Vrindavan devotee may be different, but that's fine. I saw Rath Yatra photos in Antarctica. Fully ice. Jagannath is traveling in Antarctica. Big deities of Jagannath. I saw the photo. I'm like, wow, devotees are dancing in ice. And Jagannath ji cart also, a little cart, not a very big one, also has ice because there's ice everywhere. But amazing preaching. Someone is doing some preaching over there. So don't make principles into details. What is applicable for your body or your circumstances may not be applicable for other devotees. And unless, again, you're a guru, you're the authority, how this devotee is following his details, that's up to him. We are using PowerPoint, internet, Zoom, and all that. Technology, yes, that's very nice, very valid use of technology. It can be misused as well at the same time. So niyamagraha, we have to understand where to accept and where to reject. Radhanath Maharaj was once asked a difficult question, and I also heard that question. I was like, what Maharaj is going to say on that? I can't remember the question, to be very honest, but it was a very difficult question. I was like, how Maharaj will respond? And Maharaj just smiled, soft, sweet smile, and he said, if it is favorable for Krishna consciousness, you can do it. If it is not, you can reject it. And that's it. Khatam. I loved Maharaj's response. He gave the principle. He did not get involved into detail. It was a very complex question. It was a live class I heard many years ago. Anyway, so Maharaj is so like clear. If it is good for your Krishna consciousness, yes, you can do that. So he did not go into detail, you're riding in a bike or car, you're buying 10 houses. If it is favorable, buy 40 houses, buy 10. Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, I want 200 children. He said that, 200 children, if they are Krishna conscious, because I want to propagate this movement. So 200 children is no problem at all. 40 houses is no problem at all. How are we utilizing it? So niyamagraha, very nice thing for us to understand. Okay, fifth, Janasangha. Jana Sangha. What does Jana Sangha refers to? Jana is people, Sangha is association. So we are associating with people. What's wrong with that? Now, this word refers to we are associating with people. That's okay. We're associating with people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Who are not interested. Associating people, we have to. We live in a world, we live in a society. We have to go out for work. We have to travel and train, and mostly we are traveling or working with the non-devotees. So that's not called Janasangha. Janasangha means where you exchange your emotions with them. And we'll read in verse 4, we start exchanging emotions with exchanging gifts. We'll read about that in verse 4. So exchanging emotions. So how was your weekend? That's all right. How's the weather? All right. How's your dog? All right. After that, what's happening in your life? What's happening in my life? And then when you get into the details and we start getting, so what do you advise? What should I do? And the first advice he will give, stop going to ISKCON temple. ये हरे कृष्णा वाले ना पूरा बर्बाद कर देंगे आपको. Previously used to come for Sunday parties, he used to come for Bollywood movies, he used to come for beach picnics and all that. Now every Sunday you say you have to go to Sunday program. When the holiday comes, you have to go to Vrindavan, Mayapur Yatra, some going to Banaras Yatra. Whenever something comes, you say, I have to do this person. Today is Ekadashi, I can't eat. This is not offered, huh? Pura barbad kar, they have ruined your whole life. So first thing you should do, stop going to these temples and associating with devotees. So this is what the society is telling us. There is no God. We're talking about the 700 demonesses. which were torturing Mother Sita for almost 1 year. And they represent the people outside who are telling us there is no God. There is no God. There's no such thing. You're following Krishna consciousness so seriously that you don't even take onion and garlic. You must be mad. You must be mad. Or they present this argument, you must die out of protein. Where will you get the calcium from? Huh? You hear all these arguments, very common arguments, very, very common and useless argument. So this is what Janasangha refers to, associating with those people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Now, Janasangha also refers to those people who are so-called Krishna conscious, but they are not serious about it. When you sit next to them, they'll talk about, what's the score in cricket today? I went for a program somewhere and they said, tonight the crowd will be very, I didn't know about it, to be honest. There's some India-Pakistan match. Today the crowd will be very less. I said, okay, whatever Krishna does is before the program. I said, okay, I've been engaged in a seva. I'll do whoever comes, whoever doesn't come. And I went there's a lot of people. And I said, I said in the class, during the class, somehow Krishna inspired me. I said, I was expecting less crowd today. There's like 50 plus people that day. And the reason I came to know, this host, very rich person, big house, and he had a very big TV, and the match starts at 7:30, right after the program. So they had gathered all in that house so that after the program, they will get some prasadam and they will be able to see the match. And I was very happy. I said, at least you have given me 1.5, 2 hours. That's very nice of you. And I made them chant and all those things. So if people are not too serious about Krishna consciousness, that's also can be associated with Janasangha. Let's see what Prabhupada said. Okay, I've got some examples. Actually, I didn't quote it here. So this example of Janasangha, very clear. Ajamil's example. Ajamil was a Brahman boy. Everyone knows the story. He was very knowledgeable person, very simple-hearted person, young, doing all the right things. But one day, he did Janasangha. How did he do Janasangha? With his eyes for few moments. Now, if you put this Ajamil's context in today's world, every time we are doing so much Sangha with our eyes, as soon as you go out, you will see so much advertisements, billboards, so many people going here and there, having provoking dresses and all that. So much so, but we are still saved. One speaker was saying in this class, we are still saved. You know why? He said, because of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I was so happy to hear that. Because of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although we see so much, we hear so much, we go out, but we're still, many times, if not all the times, we're still saved. Why? Because of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So much Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is protecting us, we don't even realize. Ajamil fell down. We don't even have qualities of Ajamil. You read the qualities of Ajamil in second chapter of 6th canto, around verse 52, 53. So many qualities he had. We don't even have one of those qualities. And he fell down. And we don't. Again, as I said many times, why? And the speaker said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is protecting us. Beautiful. That's why we should bow down to God Nitai again and again and again. They're our protector. They are our protector. So one example of Janasangha. Anyone knows this photo? Everyone knows that. Charumata? No, okay, no problem.
Prabhu
Priya
Ram,
Mataji?
Ram.
Ram and
I didn't ask you knowingly, Kanika Mataji. Anyway, now you have said, and it's
प्रभु
nice.
जो आता है वो
जो
आपको
नहीं
पता
आता वही पूछना
नहीं
है.
आता हमको.
Thank you, Mata. So here we see Mother Sita and Kaikeyi. Now Kaikeyi loved Ram more than Bharat. We all know that. Ram used to call Kaikeyi as mother, Ma, and Kaushalya as Badi Ma. So Ram loved Kaikeyi so much. Kaikeyi loved Ram so much. But few moments of association with mantra ruined the life of Kaikeyi. Now, who is the mantra? Burjan Prabhu says the mantra is modern internet is mantra. Ruining our mind. All these, rumors, blasphemies, criticisms, so much news, headlines, this, that, ruining our mind. That's mantra. So we should be away from mantra, because if we get association of this mantra, negative use of internet mantra, we will be ruined. Now, we don't love Lord Ram. I don't, at least. Kaikeyi loved Lord Ram like anything. Really, she loved Lord Ram. Now, if she had so much love and her love got ruined within moments of association of mantra, what will happen to us? We don't even have that love for Lord Ram. We have like a little tiny seed somewhere that also is seen only a few moments. That will get destroyed so easily if we associate with the mantra. We should be very careful. Who's this? Someone else who have not spoken. Priya Mataji. If you don't know, it's okay.
Um,
You would have seen this
like,
photo many
I know,
places.
but I know he can
Blind.
see the pastimes of Krishna. He's blind, but I
Yes.
don't know the name.
Thank
Sorry.
you. No problem, Mata. Madhuri Mataji
Surdas?
already said. No, no,
Haridas.
Surdas. No.
Haridas Thakur.
Haridas Thakur. No, no,
Kabir
Mangal.
sir?
no. I thought everyone would know.
Yeah.
Mangala Thakur.
Bilwa
Thank
Mangal.
you, Mata.
The
Bilwa
one
Mangal
who
Thakur.
said
Mangal.
whose eyes were
Damodar
blind.
Prabhu.
Huh?
Sorry,
Who
Shari
went to
Mataji.
the prostitute and she said,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bilwa
Thank you.
Mangal
Bilwa
Thakur.
Mangal
Yeah.
Thakur. Yes, Shari Mataji. Thank you. Mohit Prabhuji, you said something I could not hear.
No, I was just saying Bilwa Mangal Thakur.
Okay, thank you. So it is Bilwa Mangal Thakur. So what has happened? I'll tell you very quickly, just for the benefit of everyone. He was a rich person, and he used to visit a prostitute on a daily basis. He liked this prostitute a lot. But one day his father died, and he had to do the dah sanskar of the father. It got a little late, but he was so curious and so eager to meet this prostitute. He came to cross the river, and river was flooded that day. So he did not find any boat or something. So he saw something lying on the water. So he got hold of that and he crossed the river. And what was that, Madhuri Mataji?
Snake.
No,
Snake.
that was a dead man.
Snake.
A dead man. It was a dead man in the river. So dead corpse was floating in the river. So he got hold of the dead corpse to cross the river. And once he crossed the river, then he realized, oh, it's a dead corpse. Now in Vedic culture, we don't touch, we don't even see. I said, even if you see, you have to take bath, you have to purify yourself. He was so absorbed in the thought of this lady that he crossed the river, which could have taken his life, practically speaking, with the help of a corpse, a dead corpse. And then he went inside that village. It was heavily raining. He could not find the streets, and his body was injured because he could not see. It was Amavas night. Many trees or bushes cut his body. Finally, he reached the house. He was knocking the door, and this Mataji was living on a second floor or something like that. And she could not hear. There were no doorbells, no WhatsApp or ring. You can say, okay, I'm downstairs. And he was trying to find a way to go upstairs. And he saw a rope hanging. When he caught hold of the rope, it was very smooth, very, very smooth. And like, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. And he climbed with the help of the rope. And he arrived through the window or balcony. And Mataji said, how did he come up? There was a rope. And she looked into from that window. That's a snake. And then he said, there's something more to the story. She looked at the clothes of the Vilomangal Thakur. It was all torn. He was injured, climbing with the help of a snake, crossing the river with the help of the dead corpse. And it is the day when his father has died. He has done das sanskar. And this lady, this prostitute, was very angry. And she said, the love you have for this dead body and this flesh, if you had even a minimal love for Narayan, for Govinda, your life will be successful. And this word pierced the heart of Bilamangal Thakur, and he immediately left. Anyway, the story is very, very long. Eventually, he poked his own eyes because he again got distracted. But the same Jana Sangha which he was doing became his inspiration at the same time. Now, we should not do that. Let's try that route out. No, we can't do that. We have to just apply marga, a path which is given by our acharyas, our seniors. But the point is, he was having Jan Sangha. He was having Jan Sangha on a daily basis. Last example, a positive one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to live in Jagannath Puri after sannyas, and people from different places in Bengal will come, walk to Puri and live with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 4 months, basically, for 4 months. And there's a very famous story of Satyaraj Khan asking a question to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They come from Kulin Gram, and they ask, who is a Vaishnava? For 3 consecutive years, the same group of people came from the same village asking the same question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is a Vaishnava? Who is a Vaishnava? Who is a Vaishnava? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'll not go into too much detail of the story, said the key is Vaishnav association. Mahaprabhu said, Asat Sangha Tyag E Vaishnav Achar. This he said to Sarup Damodar. Asat Sangha Tyag, one person who can reject Asat Sangha. Now, Asat Sangha can be again different forms and shapes. A person who is not interested, I should rather say, not seriously interested in developing his or her Krishna consciousness. That is called Asat Sangha. Asat Sangha Tyag E Vaishnavachar. So Mahaprabhu is giving this definition to all of us. We should reject Janasangha. Reject Janasangha. Now Prabhupada also gave one example. Janasangha does not mean the close proximity of the people, like you're working in an office environment with 50 other team members. That's not Janasangha. And Prabhupada gave example of a mosquito sitting on his hand. And Prabhupada said to his disciple, this mosquito is also having my association, but what is he doing? Sucking my blood. But you living in West, you're saying, I want your close association, Prabhupada. You living in West and helping me spread Krishna consciousness, that is the real Sangha of Prabhupada. So Sangha does not mean you just hang around the spiritual master when he comes in your nice cotton dhoti and sari and look like a devotee. Oh, Guru Maharaj, I love you so much. And thank you for coming in this and that. And when Guru Maharaj leaves the city, you never show your face in the temple again. In front of Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj all understands this. And you will see some Mataji or Prabhuji just behind the scenes. They'll not even come in front. They will be doing so much service. So Vapu association is very, very nice, and we should try to do where possible. But Vani is topmost. Vani is topmost. So Janasangha, Rupa Goswami is saying strictly we should quit this Janasangha. Okay, the last one, Lolyam. Lolyam is greed. Now, greed, in the very beginning of the verse, I said, can be taken from negative perspective or positive perspective. Here is a common perspective. Greed is considered bad, but greed can be good. B.B. Goj Maharaj is coming to Sydney. When he came last time, at least in my knowledge, around 22 years ago, in 2002, he gave this example, and I was in the class in Sydney Temple. Maharaj gave, he speaks very good Hindi, by the way, if you don't know. And Maharaj gave this example of a makhi juice. And he said in Hindi, makhi juice. And he said, kanjus. Kanjus is a person who's miser. So if a fly, while you're drinking milk, a fly goes into the milk glass, what a kanjus will do? Oh, milk is very expensive. Milk is very nice. He will take the makhi out. He will take the fly out of the glass and he will drink the milk. He's called kanjus. And someone is called makhi juice. I don't think so. I have to explain to you guys. You get my point. Makhi juice means when he will take the makhi out, the fly out, there'll be some milk on his body or on her body. What he will do? No need to expand on that. And then he will drink the glass of milk. So Maharaj said, you should not become kanjus, you should become makhi juice. And we were like, what? Makhi juice we have to become? He said, you have to become makhi juice for Krishna. Wherever you get even the little quantity of Krishna, little association, you should try to get it. Try to get it. Then you will become Krishna conscious. Once Prabhupada was asked how to become sincere. So Prabhupada says, associate with those who are sincere. Many times we feel we are not very sincere devotees. We are sort of following the things, but we are not so sincere. So what Prabhupada said, associate with those who are sincere. That's very nice definition. Very, very, and we know who is sincere and who is not so sincere. But many times we associate with those who are not so sincere. And we are ruining ourselves actually. We should find devotees who are very, very sincere and seek their association, serve them. And by serving them, in their association, we'll also become sincere one day. Because life is very, very short, extremely fragile. Kamal dal jala jivan talmal. When this jivan will go away or to ruin our body, we don't know. So find sincere devotees and become sincere ASAP. I can see in this call there are so many, all of you actually, so sincere, so nice actually. And I really I was thinking about it today. I was in the bathroom, doing some brush or something. I was thinking I was so fortunate. I've got association of so many sincere Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas who are engaging me useless in some service. Because of you, I'm engaged in the seva. Otherwise, I will be doing some prajalpa here and there. So it's so nice and so kind to all of you. Thank you. So, Lolyam, can we take in the positive greed? But we'll come to that in next round of devotion. But here, Rupa Goswami is taking this in a negative perspective, and he is saying, greed is not desired. I'll read Prabhupada's line here. Desires to expand the mind by perfecting mystic yoga, one category. Merging in the existence of Brahman, second category. Attaining whimsical material prosperity. All are included within the category greed or lolya. So very specific categories Prabhupada is giving here. So you want to become a perfect mystic yoga. I want to attain all these siddhis. I want to merge Mayavadi's goal, dream, or attain lot of prosperity. This all comes under the greed. Now you can say, what's the difference between atyahara and lolya, right? Atyahara will also, we discuss about accumulating a lot of wealth or a lot of knowledge and all that. So it says, greed is sort of more explicit, more on a gross level. Like I want to have too many gulab jamuns, for example. I don't care. They're like 20 gulab jamuns, 10 devotees, so everyone will get 2. No. I should get 8. Others get, I don't get. Huh? So lolya. Now lolya comes in the beginning of our devotional life. It's very explicit. It's sort of a gross level. Atyahara comes later. I want to be a senior devotee. I want to be respected. I've been here 20 years. Prabhu, do you know who I am? I've got 3 initiations. My Guru Maharaj is so great. Actually, by saying that many times, if not all the time, we want our glorification. I'm the disciple of that Guru, which is very nice. But many times we take Guru's sort of glory as our glory. So you should respect me. You should listen me. Why? Who are we? Why should others listen to us? We can inspire others. We cannot make others listen. That's not very nice. So Prabhupada is very, very clear on that. I saw a hand. If there's still a question, I'm sure.
Prabhu, it was me actually.
Okay.
It was the same question I wanted to ask, Prabhu. You answered.
Jai Ho. Paramatma inspired. Thank you, Paramatma. One of disciples of Prabhupada, Parvidha Prabhu, is very senior disciple of Prabhupada. Very good actor, and he has acted many plays. One of the things which I really liked in Prabhuji, he came to Sydney once. He was giving class. He was trying to quote a shloka. He could not remember that time. And he thought for some time. And then he remembered. And on the spot, in the class, he put his hand on the chest. He said, "Thank you, Paramatma." And everyone was looking at him. And he said, "Yeah, Paramatma inspired me." I was very happy hearing that. Many times we think, oh, I have recollected. No, Paramatma has inspired. So we should thank Paramatma. So thank you, Prasannatma Prabhu, for telling Paramatma to say the right thing from my mouth. Okay, now just summarize. Okay, I have this little mapping exercise which we'll do. And I know Madhuri Mataji will love it. She's a solution architect. I'm also in the similar field. So we love this mapping exercise. So what's the relation between verse 1 and verse 2? So Vega, which we read in verse 1, leads to destructive elements, as we can see in this particular chart. Which Vega will lead to what? Let's read together. Vacho or voice, if you cannot control what it will end up with, Prajalpa, isn't it? Some people are speaking. So you will end up speaking useless things. Manasa, if you don't control your mind, what it will end up in over endeavor, because you cannot control your mind. You have one car, you're not happy with one car. You want 3 cars or the most expensive car in Sydney. You have to overwork. So very sensible. So Manasa will lead to Prayasa or over endeavor. Krodha, if you don't control your anger, try to Niyamagra. One day, Are chodo yaar. What happens if I don't follow? Who cares? So if you don't control Krodha, will end up in not following the rules and regulations which are meant for our advancement. Jihva, if you don't control Jihva, we will end up in Lolya, greed. If you don't control our Udar, we will end up in Atyahar. Atyahar again, eating more and more and more. For different senses, different ahar. Upasti, if you don't control our genitals, will end up in Jansanga, because we want to know what others are doing, what others have achieved. I've seen even devotees, sometimes they feel lacking in their life due to lack of material possessions, for example. My house is not so big. My job is not so great. And I was like, you still have that gap in your mind? Huh? We should not have, because of some root causes actually. Huh? So Janasanga, we like the association. Kuch to sunna hai, bahar kya ho raha hai. Hang on a second. Even Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Maharaj, I heard they also read the newspaper for 2 minutes. They get the headlines in their head so that they can use the headlines for preaching purposes. You don't have to spend 2 hours every day. So Janasangha, we feel like I still have my karmi friend. Prabhupada writes actually in the purport I was reading today. They still have karmi friends. Now we don't have to reject the relation, but we don't have to cultivate those relations. They are not Krishna conscious. So what should we do with them? Yeah, we should preach to them. That's one category. You should not associate with them. That can become very dangerous because then when they buy a bigger house or a bigger car or a better dress than you'll feel like, yaar, uske paas kitna acha hai, hamare paas to nahi hai. This person has such a big dress or such a big house. We'll start feeling some lacking in our heart. That's why go to sincere devotees. Okay, time is running. I wanted to cover very quickly. Okay, I'll take 1 minute or 2 minutes. I'll cover this last slide. It's nothing but the 6 aspects in one place, and I'll share this with you. I'll also share for the verse 1, so don't have to take a screenshot or anything. So Atyahara, Prabhupada writes in 3 parts. One is religion, one is philosophy, one is welfare work. And he gave different examples of rice and bird. Religion should be used for liberation, not for monetary gains. Philosophy should also be used for developing Krishna consciousness. And he gives the example of rice and bird. A businessman getting reborn as a cobbler. An analogy for a welfare work, he gave the analogy of $100 note lying on the road. Prayasa, 3 examples Prabhupada gave. Over endeavor will end up, actually Prabhupada writes in the purport, because people over endeavor, they get an anxiety and frustration, and to relieve themselves, they go to brothels, to prostitutes, to factories, and the liquor den. They start drinking alcohol because they want some quick relief, because they are overworking. Problem is less time for inquiry. They don't inquire about the Brahman. Simple living, 1 to 10. Okay. Third, Prajalpa, analogy of a frog. If we just keep speaking, time catches us very fast. When we watch a cricket match or a movie, time flies very fast. If I have to, if I tell you, Prabhuji, can you chant 8 rounds extra? 8 rounds extra? Arey, Prabhu, can you watch a movie, Amitabh Bachchan, 3 hours? No problem. No problem. Easily watch. 1 hour extra chanting is too much. That's not. Niyamagraha. Agraha, acceptance of rule. Agraha, rejecting rules and regulations. Janasangha, yes, Prabhupada writes, as they have chamber of commerce, we have this society for developing Krishna consciousness. So whomever you associate with, that's how you will become. It says if you identify a person, you have to identify that person with his friend circle, which sort of friends he has, and then you'll understand he's a serious person or not a serious person. Laulyam, Prabhupada also write, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakle, Ashant, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam, Ataiv, Shant. So all the Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, they are considered as a category of Laulya. And what are the advantages of avoiding them? Ideal society, enmity destroyed, economic maladjustment corrected, political stability, spiritual community established. Hari Bol. Okay, it's 9:04. I'll stop here. Sorry, I went 4 minutes over just to conclude this. So we'll meet with each other next week. Manmohan Prabhu, any